Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so I'm going live on my computer, which always takes a minute to get set up. Great. All right, hey ladies. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I am just going to make sure I can see myself on my own. Say hello as you show up, ladies. Welcome. Oh, good. Okay. Good. All right, I see myself. Okay, awesome. Welcome, 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 ladies. As you get here, say hello. Hello, Johanna. Now, is it an H? Do you pronounce the H? Let me know, Johanna, because that's what I want to say, but it might be Joanna with the silent H. So I'm just going to say the H until I find out not to say the H. Hi, Valerie. All right, ladies. Hi, Alyssa. Alyssa. Hey, girl. Alyssa, how are you? Hello, happy Sunday, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited. This is going to be such a great masterclass. And you know what? I'm really excited for this way of doing it. I have done a couple master classes. Hello, Chantel. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Victoria. I've done a couple master classes over the past couple weeks, and I've tried different formats. I'm really excited for this one. This space was one I would do master classes in a lot in 2019. I use it particularly at the beginning of the year, and I'm just so excited. I think a lot of you have had the opportunity to see my update on how we are just breathing life back into this space. I'm so excited for it. This is the perfect space. Sisterhood is one of the most sacred things in my entire life. You'll learn that if you are new to me, but it's just really, really important that I have all that. Okay. Hi, Anne. It's the hard H. Yes, Johanna. Okay, got it. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Melissa. Hey, Gloria. All right, ladies. So excellent. Welcome, 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 welcome. Really quick, I'm going to give a brief introduction and then we are going to get into tonight's masterclass, which is called the Remaining 2020 Moons Masterclass. We're going to be talking about the 4 major moons that are going to be happening from now to the end of the year. And when I say major, I mean new moons and full moons. And we're going to kick it off talking about today's new moon because we just happen to be having a new moon experience right now. It's kind of like I planned that. Hi, Danielle. Oh, it's so good to see you. So, ladies, if I ever go like this, it's because your comments are over here. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. But I'm going to try to it's really important for me, for each and every single one of you to feel like it's you and me, eye to eye, heart to heart, just having a really great, fun conversation. You're going to learn a lot, and hopefully you're going to embody a lot tonight too. And of course, this is the first of 5 masterclasses that I have scheduled for the remainder of this year, because there's so many good things to learn about the moon, and what a beautiful time of an eventful year to be looking at energy and how you're showing up in your life a little bit differently, to start paving the way for 2021 to come, potentially with a little bit more grace and a little bit more proactive co-creation with you and the universe. So really quick, I am Jillian Bolands. It is my honor and gift and pleasure to be here with you tonight. I am an intuitive life coach. I'm a spiritual mentor. Talking about the moon and cyclicality and seasonality means the world to me. Learning how to tap into my own internal cycle actually happened because I started learning how to tap into Mama Moon and her cycle. I was previously a person I'm a generator, human design. So for any generators in the house, who are the generators? Hi, Stephanie. Who are the generators in the house? So I'm like, I definitely used that to the fullest extent most of my life without understanding energy, without understanding what that actually meant. And I thought that I had to live a life of go, 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 force, 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 wearing all the masks to please all the people. And I just hit a point in my life where I simply couldn't do that anymore. And around the same time, I wanted to start figuring out why I didn't have a period. I didn't have a natural period for 14 years. And while some of you know this, but I went through a big, long phase of my life where that felt super convenient until it wasn't anymore. And until I wanted to understand why. And with all of that understanding, why I uncovered a deeper layer and level of truth of myself. And ladies, my mission is to help women uncover the truth of who they really are by way of tapping into cyclicality, by way of understanding and working with ancient wisdom, by way of knowing their own intuition and learning how to listen to her. So the moon is a beautiful gateway for us with that. The moon is a mirror to us of all of the energy and all of the cycle and all of the natural flow that's already within us. So Mama Moon waxes and wanes up there, and we get to wax and wane down here. We as women are actually meant to work with in a cycle, our own cycle. We are not meant to be constantly on. We are not also meant to turn off for long periods of time. We are meant to have the phases where we do, and then follow that up with the phases that we be. Do, be, yin, yang, ebb, flow, wax, wane. This isn't just terminology that we throw out there to sound pretty, ladies. This is actually how we can learn to function. So we are going to talk about that tonight. Hi, Nikki, Chantel, Jennifer, Morgan. Good evening, everyone. Excellent. So, ladies, I posted in this Facebook group two things. I actually posted the document for you, but I also posted a link. I created a hub for us on my website where I'm going to, yes, you'll have the recordings here. Yes, I'll post the documents and the worksheets that I make for you in here, but I also have a page on my website. And you know what? I can copy that really quickly for you and just make life super duper easy. How about that? Just to make it easy, I want to keep everything in one place for you. So do you guys have the worksheets that I made for you? If not, totally cool. I can't share my screen, but you can find them for you. All right, what's the Moon Cycle Connection mini series 2020? So if you didn't see them, hi Samantha. Here you go. There is the link for you. And you can download the PDF that I made. Excellent. You can download the PDF that I made for tonight's call. My intention with the worksheets that I make, I will not make them for every class. I will make them when I'm inspired and I feel like it will be super duper helpful because that's how I tend to work. I honor myself when I feel the inspiration, I move, right? Like inspired action, ladies. It's kind of what we're here to learn how to do. But I created a remaining 2020 moons worksheet for you. There is a typo on it because I am human. It says Monday, December 15th, new moon in Sagittarius. That's supposed to be December 14th. So you can just cross out that 5 and put a 4. Apparently my copying and pasting job was on point, but my editing job was not. So, but that's, I believe, the only typo on this worksheet. I just made it for you because I like to keep things super simple, especially when I'm learning about the moon and teaching about the moon. I gave you a part for each of the 4 moons that we're going to go over tonight to write about the information that I'm going to share with you, and then a section for you to use. This is going to be a working document that you should keep for the rest of the year because tonight you have a section to set your new moon intentions, and then you have a section for full moon celebrations and releasings later on in the year. So, are we ready to go? Let's do this. Do this. So if you have any questions, excellent. Lisa has them. Anne has them. Morgan has them. Excellent. Johanna has them. Awesome, awesome. If you have any questions, lady, I am the type of teacher and coach and guide that I love having a communicatory, participatory experience. If you've got questions, I'll try to pick them up as I'm going through. If not, I'll grab them at the end and we're going to roll. I want you to get a ton out of this class tonight. So let's get started, shall we? All right. First of all, deep breath. Deep breath. Let's center in. We are calling upon Mama Moon to help guide us through this incredible masterclass tonight as she reveals so much of her magic out there, which is representative and illuminates the magic that we have in here. We're going to learn about the different zodiac signs that the moon will show up in throughout the rest of this year. And as we talk about different aspects of those moons, we will know, we will reveal what we can look forward to embodying for ourselves, supporting ourselves with, and proactively planning for in order to make the rest of 2020 the best of 2020. Good work. So, ladies, today is the new moon in Scorpio. So I'm going to kind of walk through a couple notes that I wrote down to make sure that I'm teaching you exactly what I want to teach you about each moon, and then we will answer questions. And at the end, I would love to help you with a new moon intention setting moment. So before we start with Scorpio, let's talk about new moon and full moon really quick. The new moon is the time during the month where we actually can't see the moon. Everything is black. This is a time of a clean slate. It's like this is day one. This is starting over. This is the time where we get to plant seeds of intention. So we are the wisest now. You'll hear me say this a lot. We are the wisest in this moment than we've ever been in our entire lives. Right? Because we have lived every single moment up till now. We are wiser now than we were 5 years ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 days ago, 5 minutes ago. We are the wisest version of us now. So knowing that we get to move forward with a brand new moon cycle, we get to set the intentions of two things: what we want to do and how we want to feel. So I want you to think about that tonight as I'm talking specifically about the new moon in Scorpio today. The full moon is the halfway point of the moon cycle, and it is when the moon is the biggest and brightest in the sky. The full moon illuminates everything, and it's during the full moon time that energetically we want to do two things. We want to celebrate. So picture women coming together around a fire, dancing in the moonlight, celebrating all that they have done and all that they have learned and all that they've embodied. And then also releasing. The full moon is a very potent time for releasing, because as we learn more and more as we travel through our lives, we learn more about what we do want to do, what we do like, how we do want to feel, and what we don't want to do anymore, or what we don't want to do at all. Even if it means that we set intentions and at that very next full moon, we're like, I don't actually want to do any of that. That clarity that the full moon brings is super important. And it's super life-giving too, because we walk around sometimes doing the same thing over and over and over, even if we know it's just not working. And the full moon reminds us that we're not here for that anymore. We're not here for that anymore. We're here to honor what it is we want to do. We are here to honor where it is we want to go. And sometimes that means releasing things, people, experiences, habits, thoughts, events, whatever it may be from the past, so that you can move forward and create the life that you want to live. Cool? New moon and full moon. So from that space, let's dive in. I want to make sure I have, oops, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. There we go. Okay. I just want to separate these. How are we doing, ladies? This all making sense so far? Good. All right. Get your pens ready. Girls, we're diving in. So today is the new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. Scorpio is a deeply emotional sign. So if you have been like feeling the feels over the course of the past couple days, it's because Scorpio has been coming and getting you ready to really set intentions, utilizing the superpower of these emotions. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the 4 major moons because I want you to be able to more proactively know what's coming your way. Instead of how many of you have been like, oh my gosh, everybody's freaking crazy, it must be a full moon, right? And that's like very reactionary mode. Now we're going to know what's coming so that you can plan your life around it. Specifically with the holidays coming, that's going to be really important. Today is also a supermoon, and a supermoon means that the moon is just literally a little bit closer to us in orbit than a typical moon is, which I just think is so miraculous if you think about it. Like, gosh, the fact that like we live in a universe, on a planet that is perfectly stationed within a moon and a sun, so that we are close enough, far enough away to have the gravitational pull and get a nice tan, but not like burn to a crisp. Like, it just blows my ever loving mind. So I want you to sink into the miracle that is this connection with the moon too, because they abound. And when we tap into magic and abundance in any way, shape, or form, we actually become more of a magnet for that in our lives in all the places and spaces. So let's dive into Scorpio. Today is about getting sexy and getting sensual. Like I said, Scorpio is a very deeply feeling water sign. So utilizing all of your senses and getting actually intimate with all that's going on around you is a great way to utilize this moon. This is also a great time to make inner peace, right? We're feeling deep emotions that might bring up some turmoil for you. And likely when we have turmoil going on, it's because we've thought the same thought over and over and over and over. What if you just laid them to rest? What if you made peace with whatever bits and pieces of you are fighting with each other in there? What if you sat with each version of your inner selves that are in conflict and you tried to resolve what was going on within you? This is a time to breathe. This is a time to drop grudges. And most importantly, this is a time to ask yourself with honesty, what are you passionate about? What am I passionate about? And ladies, I want to encourage you to utilize the chat box to share what you're passionate about, right? Let's start declaring it. And what are you passionate about in different areas of your life? Because if we are going to make the rest of 2020 the best of 2020, then we need to start looking at these passions. Because if we are able to get honest about what we're passionate about and then build a life from there, we are going to build a life based on our passions rather than remaining on the hamster wheel and doing the same old thing because we've always done the same old thing. Let's ask ourselves, when's the last time we did a check-in? Scorpio is inviting us today to do a check-in on what lights you up. What fuels that inner fire? What are you passionate about? Because truthfully, the only other option is not to build a life that you're passionate about. Do you really want that? That's what Scorpio is asking us. You get to build a life that you're passionate about or not. Right? And in understanding that sorry, ladies, I have like a hair or something in my eye. It's bothering me. Understanding that we have choice, right? We are here having this human experience and we get to participate in it. We get to dance with the abundant force of love that surrounds us and is within us. So when is the last time you've asked yourself what lights you up? What brings you passion? Because you might surprise yourself. If it's been a while, you might surprise yourself. And then also, get a list written down. What are you passionate about in every area of your life? What are you passionate about within your family life? What are you passionate about within your work life? What are you passionate about for a hobby? What about your self-care and self-devotion? What about external what's the word I'm looking for? External causes. What causes are you passionate about? And is it time to finally start taking movement and action on those passions? I want you to think about a month and a half from now. A month and a half from today, we will be at New Year's Eve of 2020. What if you spend the next 46 days taking action on your passion and feeling your passion? Not just putting your head down and trailblazing because I got to go do the thing, but actually letting yourself embody the feeling of passion. When is the last time you let yourself feel passionate about something? And not just like a numbed out, like life is okay, ho-hum experience. These are big, big questions, ladies. And this new moon is inviting us into that. Questions on that? Questions. All right, I love creating Johanna says, I love creating anything. Cookies, drawing, painting, kids, crafts, crochet, writing. I just love to create. Same, girl. The word creation has been coming up. I don't create in the way that you do, in all of these ways right here, but like so much of my intuitive life coaching is creating and creation, and it just feels really good to be in creation mode. Maria says creating too, creating and sharing. Heidi, writing and being a mom. Oh yeah, my kids too. Lisa says, I'm passionate about educating, overcoming severe suffering mindsets. Yeah, girl. Stephanie, hands raised, and loves creating. Ladies, we've got some creative beings in this space. Anne's gonna start a blog. Passionate about animal rescue. Want to travel again soon. Oh, Anne, I'm a Sagittarius. We're gonna talk about Sagittarius in a minute. I keep saying to my husband, I just want to get on a plane. I don't even care where I go. I just miss being on planes. Like, and I have 3 kids, so like I didn't travel like especially by myself all that often. But a couple times a year I would go on retreats or I would go somewhere to really spark creative juices for me. I just miss traveling. So yes, I look forward to traveling someday. Danielle says my passions are teaching and inspiring others, building a loving relationships with my kids can look up to. Yes. We've got clarinet players, learning new things, having new experience. Heck yes, you're in the right place, Danielle, then, right? Learning all this new stuff. Good, ladies. So I want you to think about this. And at the end, I'm going to help you set some new moon intentions. But let's dive in to the next moon, which is coming up on Monday, November 30th. Okay, let's switch gears. I'm going to take another sip of water. Today's a day that I just cannot get enough water. Anybody else? Could be because Scorpio is a water sign. That's another point, ladies. Playing with the elements and understanding what element you are and how the different elements really, like you can physically feel them. It's really potent, and it's really fun to bring those practices into your overall deepening connection of connectivity with Mama Moon, with seasonality, with cyclicality. So fun. Okay, let's dive into Monday, November 30th is the full moon in Gemini. So this is actually going to be a lunar eclipse, ladies. There are usually 5-ish eclipses throughout the year, and they tend to come in seasons. So we had an eclipse season in the summer, and we have 2 eclipses coming up within these next few moons. That's why I really wanted to have this masterclass talking about the moons that are coming, because ladies, we got to know this stuff, right? Like, how many of you are like deeply emotional people? Like you just feel it, you feel it, you feel it. And it's really nice, for me at least, having words to put to my feelings. So knowing this stuff, especially as you kind of like mark your calendars and remind yourself that it's coming, it's going to be super helpful. So lunar eclipse. So what is a lunar eclipse? This is when the Earth's shadow blocks the sun rays from hitting the moon. So normally the moon is full because the sun has direct like ray beams on it. So it looks the fullest in the sky. But when there's a lunar eclipse, we can't see the moon even though it's at its fullest. So that's really cool to note, because what an eclipse does is, think about the moon energy in general. An eclipse basically just like magnifies it by 100. So it just makes it a lot more intense. The Gemini is an air element. So there's a lot of that. I don't know, how many of you are airs? Do you know? Do you know? And let's get into this. Oh, an eclipse. I was like, where am I on my notes? Eclipses are here. They're a cosmic event that's going to shake up your reality. I actually found out that I was pregnant with my 3rd son, Nathan. This was the one that I was not supposed to have according to doctors, because I was not ever going to get a natural period, all of that fun stuff. And then I got a period and I found out I was pregnant on an eclipse in July of 2019. Wild, right? So like eclipses come, they take your reality and they like shake it on up. But with a full moon and with a lunar eclipse, our responsibility is to just let it flow. like, let it happen. Be prepared. 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 Be proactively support yourself, but also like let's go along for the ride instead of resisting. Ladies, when we resist what's going on, that's when we bring about tension, and that's when we tend to not enjoy ourselves. So during lunar eclipses specifically, it may get crazy. It may get crazy. But if you can just kind of throw your hands up on the roller coaster as opposed to like being there saying, I don't want to go down the big hill, it's going to be more of an enjoyable process for you. So and during this time, it's going to be, so this is the end of November, this is going to be a time for some closure. What a full moon does. I want you to think about Mama Moon when she's up there. She is her biggest and brightest in the sky. She is illuminating everything. So when the moon is full, our shadow self can't hide. Right? Like all the little bits and pieces of you that you try to like tuck in the corner and pretend isn't there. All that like old crap, the old memories that you don't want to like deal with anymore. Like they are all illuminated in the full moonlight. And this is why we get to release, because those bits and pieces, those shadow parts of ourselves, they are so sacred. And we may not be super proud of what we call negative feelings or things that we've done that we're just not happy with. But ultimately, they are part of who we are or have been in the past, and we get to release them. So with a full moon, we get to release, and we get to release the things that have been hiding in the shadows because there's no way for them to hide. Now, with a lunar eclipse, everything is eclipsed and it's kind of masked, but we feel the presence of it so much more potently. And this is the time where that's why we say, like, we're going to let it flow and we're going to release. So let the moon illuminate it all at the end of this month, but without shame, right? Like, yeah, you may have some uncomfortable feelings, you may like see some dark and dirty stuff, but it's time to stop shaming ourselves, ladies, and it's time to start remembering that we are human. We are here and we are human, and there are bits and pieces of us that, knowing what we know now, perhaps we might have made different choices, but it's kind of like, Maya Angelou, when we know better, we do better. So when we can release ourselves of those shadow parts of ourselves that we no longer need anymore, we also get to release the shame that went along with it. So using Gemini energy, which is super adaptable, we get to create a new reality with enthusiasm. Gemini is super enthusiastic. And they can ebb and they can flow. They can see both sides of things. Gemini can also be indecisive. So that's why we're having this conversation. We are going to utilize this moon to release. No questions asked. We are not shaming ourselves. No questions asked. We get to adapt. We get to flow. And we get to create anew from that space. Let's let the moon clear the energy. Let's let the moon wipe the slate clean and release what no longer serves us. We're going to breathe into the areas of life that could feel really tense during this time, including relationships and money, right? I say this not to scare you, and I'm also not a person that like ever is going to look at astrology and like talk about the doom and gloom. That's just not me. I actually don't believe in that because I believe you create your own reality. So if you're going to talk about things being hard, things will be hard. But we're talking about, you may feel some resistance in some areas because that moon is going to be so potent. And with that Gemini energy, relationships and money are two big forces in life. So instead of them being at each other, let's breathe into the spaces where we can feel some tension coming up. Let's witness old patterns we don't want to force during this time. But we want to remember that we get to make our own reality and that we get to believe in something better. During the full moon in Gemini on November 30th, we are going to believe in something better. We're going to stop staring at our current reality and thinking that we are doomed to this for all eternity. We're going to release without shame, and we're going to believe in something better. We're going to create something new. Gemini is super intelligent, so you're going to be able to think things through as these new opportunities are coming. As we are going to release tension and breathe and think about things differently, we're going to use the intelligence of Gemini, and then we are going to use the deep emotions that the moon brings up. The moon is the emotional body out there. The moon represents our emotions, and so we're going to be compassionate with ourselves and with others as we feel through those thoughts. So things are going to pop up. We're going to notice some tensions. We're going to think through things differently. We're going to breathe. And then we're going to feel and embody compassion and excitement as we feel, as we think those new thoughts. We think the new thoughts, we feel new feelings. We basically create new programming for ourselves. That sounds nice, right? The eclipse is a reset. So we are going to find balance, witness, and release. Yes? Yes, yes, yes? We good? We're talking about elements. Danielle's a ball of emotions. Yeah. Oh, Alyssa, you're a Sagittarius too? Fellow feeler. Yeah. It is real interesting being a Sagittarius and being such a deep feeler. When's your birthday, girl? You don't have to share it with everybody if you don't want to, but mine's the 19th of December. So I'm kind of on the cusp. Yes, ladies. Good, good, good. And I have 2 Pisces in my house. My husband and my 3rd baby, Nathan, is a Pisces as well. Libra. Excellent. All right, girls. We good? Good. So we're down. We've got the new moon and the full moon of November down. Now we move into December. Okay? We good? Victoria, I freaking love you. Stephanie, so many emotions. I'm here with you. I've got you. December 3rd. I'll have to remember that. Yeah, girl. Good. Oh, this feels fun. I'm so happy to be here right now. All right. We're doing great on time too. This is excellent. So now we are ending November with a full moon, and we are then stepping into December. Sagittarius season actually begins November 21st, but the new moon in Sagittarius is on Monday, December 14th, and that's where you see the typo on the form. Just cross out that 5 and put a 4. 15 is my favorite number, so subconsciously I just probably wanted that there. So Sagittarius is a fire sign. I am straight fire, ladies, and it's just really interesting to be in the places and spaces of being able to like bring this to you tonight because I'm utilizing my fire Sagittarius energy. And this new moon in Sagittarius is going to be a total solar eclipse. So full moons have lunar eclipses. New moons have solar eclipses. Cool, huh? So it's going to be a total solar eclipse, meaning the sun is obscured by the moon. So that's when the moon passes in front of the sun, and you can't look at the sun. You've got to be very careful. But the moon, basically everything goes black in the middle of the day. It's going to be really interesting. I believe it's going to happen as a total eclipse in South America, and like the bottom part of South America. But you can do some research about that. It's just so fascinating. And this is a time to start fresh. This is a bold new beginning. This is a new path. So if a lunar eclipse in November is about releasing, is about kind of bringing things to fruition, we're really like bringing closure. The new moon and the total solar eclipse is about a new path. And think about that, right? We talked about the new moon being the time that we are planting seeds. So this new moon in Sagittarius has such potent, amazing energy because it's a fire sign. So it's going to want you to move, but you get to create a new path from that space. So typically the new moon in Sagittarius is about getting away. It's about studying, but like on a deeper, like searching for meaning type energy. Sagittarius wants to go like on quests of the soul. Yes, like we want to hop on the plane and like go and like lay on a beach somewhere, but we also want to like uncover the deeper meaning. And you don't have to be a Sagittarius to feel that energy on the new moon in Sagittarius. I will say this though, on the new and full moons of your personal moons, whether it be your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign, you typically feel it more. So just know that, and that's definitely potent and totally true. This new moon in Sagittarius is going to ask you to laugh and to take risks. It's going to ask you to be grateful, which I don't know about you, but tapping into gratitude in the middle of December feels really, really, really important because life tends to get really stressful in the middle of December if you are not purposefully and proactively supporting yourself on an energetic level through the holiday season, through end of the year wrap wrap up, through family and friends. And I know that this year may look a little bit different, but that's only going to add to like, potentially the crazy if you let it. So we want to allow our whole life to be filled and fueled with gratitude, especially around this new moon time. And this is being adventurous. You get to be adventurous. And what does that mean, especially for this year with 2020, with COVID, with all the things? Like, how can you be adventurous in brand new ways, right? Creating new paths, planting new seeds of intention. With everything being potentially super different this year, how do you get to be adventurous to support yourself through this time of the year, which is so usually heavily focused on nostalgia and memories and doing things because you've always done them? Yeah, great. We might not be able to do that this year. So what does that look like for you? How can you support yourself throughout this process in a really beautiful, flowy, brand new, adventurous, and fun sort of way? So this is a time period with this new moon to set intentions with a goal, based on a mission or a personal philosophy, like having that in mind that gives your life meaning. So when was the last time that you took an inventory of how you truly feel about things and what you truly want? You are going to hear me talk about that a lot because I am here for truth. Your truth. And each and every single one of us has our own personal, authentic truth. And you are only wrong if you're not living your version of the truth. So what is it that you believe? What are your philosophies on life? What are your missions? What are your goals based on you and what you want? This is a time to plant seeds on December 14th about those things and really going down those paths. This is a self-quest. As I was kind of doing some research and like feeling into this earlier, the question came up of like, you hear all the time, like, what's the point? Like, what is the point? Like, what is the point of life? Like, what is it? Like, what's the point? It's like that, like, what is like that creation of life and creation of all things question. But the question that came up for me was, what's the point to you? What are you here for? What adventure do you get to take that's going to uncover even more of the point of why you are here and human now? I love that question. And I'm a Sagittarius, so that like hits me in all the feels. This is a time to be optimistic and kind of have like that, of course I am. Of course I'm brave. Of course I'm worthy. Of course I can go on these quests. Of course I can do these things. Of course. And just trusting in yourself throughout the process of that. This is a time of ultimate belief, self-belief, belief in what's coming, belief that it's this or something better, and setting your intentions and creating from that space. Cool? How's everybody feeling about that new moon in Sagittarius? Like I said, I like hosting classes where you all actually get a chance to like have a voice and talk too. So please feel free to comment. How are you feeling about this? Questions about any of this so far? How are the notes going? It is interesting talking to myself. Lisa, awesome. With a bunch of, I love that emoji so much. The red dress emoji. Awesome. Johanna, excellent. Good. Because we've got one more moon, ladies. And then I'll walk you through a little intention setting moment. Excited. Hi, Heidi. Heidi, did you ever end up doing the full meditation this morning? Heidi and Anne are part of my Moon Cycle Collective. Danielle. Heidi, will have to rewatch. My 5-year-old is on my lap. God bless you, sister. Yep, I got it. What do you suggest we do tonight in the new moon? I'll help you with that in just a second, Johanna. I want to get through the teaching part, and then I'll walk you through a little bit of a new moon ritual. I think that'll be really fun. Power. Question. I am ovulating right now. So are these moon energies flipped for me? They could be. Really good question, Alyssa. So yes and no. The moon energies are the moon energies, and your female cycle has different energies, so you kind of get the best of both worlds, where you get to tap into what feels the very best for you. So the energy itself is kind of flipped when you look at it from your personal female cycle experience. But the new moon does have this seed of intention planting for you. So on an energetic kind of like manifestation level, you've got that available, but what feels right for you based on your body is the most important. So if you're like, sweet, I'm excited to plant these new seeds of intention, but I want to kind of treat them with more wisdom right now because I'm ovulating. Like I want to move on them a little bit more than just planting the seeds. Trust yourself with that. So Alyssa's question is so good because our female cycle, ladies, is about 29 days, and so is the moon cycle. And it's so interesting being able to tap into all of your power, understanding where you fall in accordance with the moon cycle. I've done a little bit of stuff on this in other masterclasses, some of which I already posted in this group, so you all have available to you. But typically the way we have been taught about the female cycle is that we bleed at the new moon and ovulate at the full moon. Alyssa is saying that she is the opposite. She bleeds at the full moon and ovulates at the new moon. So the research that I have done is that the thing that's the most different is your outward and inward activity. So usually if new moon is not usually, if new moon is the time that you are bleeding and the full moon is the time that you are ovulating, then at the full moon you kind of get more introspective. So you're going to be a little bit or you're going to not be a little bit opposite. You're going to be opposite of that, Alyssa, with you utilizing the full moon as a more outward sharing time, where women who bleed at the new moon will be going inward at the full moon. So you might feel yourself kind of going inward right now. This is your fertility time. So it's kind of like taking care of what's going on inside. At the full moon, you might be more outward and you might be teaching more about your experiences as opposed to someone who's ovulating and going inward. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I remember mother of 5, all grown up now. It's amazing. The meditation this morning was delicious. Good. Quick question on these moon energies for a menopausal woman. And great question. So for a menopausal woman or someone like me who didn't get a natural period, what I would do is it actually made it a little bit easier to follow the moon cycle specifically because I didn't have a period upon which to base things on. So that's why Alyssa's question is such a good one, because she's like, what do I follow right now? The easy answer is you always follow yourself. You always trust yourself and your intuition. You follow what feels good for you. You tap into the energies of the moon that are readily available when they feel good to. You tap into your own energy all the time. When you are menopausal, or if you don't have a full like tangible cycle, basing things off the moon cycle is actually really helpful because it can help give you that waxing and waning, I call it a moon print, like a blueprint, so that you're not constantly in go mode or you're not constantly in be mode. So you don't have to have your period in order to tap into this. In fact, this is why the moon cycle is so and so incredible, because it gives us the answers that maybe our body isn't showing for us as obviously. That makes sense. Yeah, go with my gut. No more cycle. Yeah, and that's, that truthfully, that's how I got my period back, is I started following the cycle. And I know, biochemically and all of that, you are past that point. So you're not in this to get a period back, whereas that's what I was. But this gets to be your guide now, as opposed to me. I was utilizing it as my guide to reconnect with my cycle, and letting that be my guide. And it's going to be really interesting because I haven't gotten a period yet. I'm still nursing Nathan, but it's going to be really interesting to see what happens once I'm done nursing, with my cycle too. And I'm just excited because then I'll get to teach and guide with a little bit more I don't know, like personal connection again, which is so fun. A good reminder to trust myself. Thank you. As I'm actually feeling very tired and sluggish right now. Is that typical for ovulation? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, tired and sluggish is typical for women all the time during different times, right? So, like, yes, it's typical for ovulation because your body is shedding right now. So it's kind of like shedding and like your body is no, it's not shedding. I'm sorry. Your body is getting ready to potentially house something. So it kind of wants you to slow down a little bit. Whereas if you were bleeding right now, again, that's when your body is shedding. And so the rest of your body is like, can we just slow down a little bit? So it's interesting because at the new moon, it's outward energy, but it's outward energy more with the intentions and more with like the creating the mental seed so that our physical body can take care of ourselves. So yes, yes, absolutely, definitely, definitely typical. That's so cool. I could talk about this all day. It's just so cool. So let's go on. Wait till you hear this one, ladies. So let's go on to the final full moon of 2020, which is Tuesday, December 29th. This will be the full moon in Cancer. And Cancer is another water sign. So I think it's kind of cool that we are tonight at a new moon at a water sign and that will be finishing the year with a full moon in a water sign. Cancer is nurturing, it's sensitive, it's compassionate, it's self-protective, and also brings with it a good sense of humor. Cancer is the ruler of home and family life. And so I just think that's so beautiful to be ending the year with home and family on our hearts, on our minds, like within our energy field to really kind of like round out the year with and then kickstart next year trying to understand where we are and who knows literally where we'll be with the pandemic. But also, I think it's just so beautiful to have round out a year and start a new year with home and family at the forefront of our minds. I know that many of us are mamas or grandmamas and we have this innate nurturing need within us. Even if you're not a mother, you have that woman, that divine feminine nurturer within you. So I just think it's cool to have home be the focus for this full moon. Again, remember the full moon is a time of celebration and release. So this is about home and family. There's going to be a lot of emotional fluctuations at this full moon. And I want you to think about that actually. I don't know about you, but like if I think back to the past few, between Christmas and New Year's, I can remember being up and down with my emotions, like so excited for the new year, so sad to, leave some things behind, so ready to like clear out the stuff and like start afresh, and so, grateful for where I've been. Like it's that juxtaposition of the polarity of feelings there. So the goal, or what I want you to keep in mind, because remember, we're learning this stuff so that we can be proactive. When you start thinking too much about your emotions, I want you to flip back to silliness. Because Cancer has such a good sense of humor, and sense of humor is often such a reliever and a relief bringer. So when you start getting really serious at the end of the year about all things, holidays being, Christmas and New Year's or whatever you celebrate, with everything new that's going to be coming with the new year and all that will bring, when you feel yourself getting serious, I want you to flip on your silly. Okay. This is a time, though, that for all of us that feel really deep feelings, this is a deeply rich manifestation time period. This Cancer moon is going to be a manifestation maven. Use your emotions to your advantage. When we manifest, basically the way to manifest is to get really freaking excited and like pour your emotion into what's coming and what you are so excited for. This is not a time to lament what hasn't happened or, get all caught up in like the crazy and the yuck. This is the time to say, I am so excited for what's coming. Getting specific when it feels good to get specific, going a little bit more general when it feels better to go a little bit more general. Regardless, if you can utilize your emotions and tune them to a higher vibration of abundance, of excitement, of joy, of love, you will be able to call in what you want because it's going to be on those higher vibrational fields. This is also a time to remember that you matter. You matter. And so during a time where, again, it could get, because you're feeling so sensitive and your emotions are fluctuating everywhere, you might feel triggered by other people. You might feel defensive at times. So creating healthy boundaries is super important to keep things light for you, right? You can still participate in relationships and support yourself by just having it clear that some things are okay with and for you and some things are not. And that's just how it is. And that's a really beautiful way to support yourself and let other people in your life know that some things are a yes and some things are a no. Some things are totally. Some things are like a no-go. So being clear with your expectations of how you want to be supported and treated is going to be super helpful, not only for you, but for other people, because then they'll know, right? And a lot of times we tend to get defensive and we tend to get triggered by people that don't even know that they're triggering us. So this is a great time to be able to support yourself. Here's the cool part. Are you ready for this? We started this year. We started 2020 with a full moon in Cancer. On January 10th, there was a full moon in Cancer. So this is a double full moon in Cancer year. What we started with, we are going to end with, which means we just get to wrap it all up with a pretty little bow. It also encourages you to think back. What were you doing or feeling in January that you perhaps tried to push off? That now it's like, okay, it's a year later and this is still coming up for me. What needs to be done so that I can just move on? I really want you to think about that. Again, this is why this is so powerful to know about the moon energies so that you can actually give yourself time and space to think about it. So I want you to go back mid-January. What were the things that you were trying to avoid? What were the things that you were hoping would just disappear by themselves, but they have spent all year lingering around in the back of your mind? What are you ready to actually release now so that it's just done with? So that we can let the past be in the past. With this full moon in Cancer, it is a time to move forward with hope and with knowing where our true priorities lie. And that means releasing in the full moonlight what is no longer ours and what no longer serves us. Isn't that delicious? I thought that was so cool when I read that. Isn't that awesome? I know. And I love being able to think, because remember, different cyclicality, seasonality, different things come up in our lives at specific times so that they can be revisited, because potentially we could have dealt with something in the past, but we didn't. So we got to deal with it now. And also gives us an opportunity to see where we have grown because we have released things from the past. Johanna, I was 9 months pregnant. Oh, girl. I was 8 months pregnant. I'm with you. I know. It's so crazy. And now those humans are going to almost be a year old. Isn't that bananas? But I will say this. I also like to think about, so for each new moon, there's also a full moon. So, and I'm not going to get into talking about the full wheel of where all the planets fall, but so I'm a Sagittarius. That's an easy one for me to think of because that happens in December. The full moon in Sagittarius was in June or July-ish, somewhere in that little time period. So I like to think about, well, what was I doing this summer that really I'm ready to create a new path on now? So for that new moon in Sagittarius in the middle of December, think back to this summer. What were you doing then that it is time to step away from and create a new with? Right? So thinking back 6 months is also a really cool exercise when you are thinking about the present moon that you're in. So for this new moon in Scorpio today, with the full moon in Scorpio, which probably took place, in May-ish? What was going on for you then that may be resurfacing now? And you're like, didn't I deal with this already? Well, yeah, maybe, but it's time to look at it differently now. Cool, right? Isn't it so fun to think about? So, ladies, if you have any questions, please type them in the comment and let's use the last 5 minutes to set some new moon intentions. So, new moon rituals that I really love to do. I love doing my own meditation. So personally for me, so finding a different meditation, whether it's guided or whether I'm just listening to words, but like really understanding the energy of the sign that it's in, just like we did tonight, is super helpful because then I can tap into the feelings that I want to do. With new moon, I always sit down with a journal and I write out some intentions. And again, I write out intentions of what I want to feel and what I want to do, right? So those are two different things. And that invites me to bring in both the waxing and the waning energies. Sometimes I like to light a candle. Sometimes I like to, diffuse some essential oils. I don't know if any of you know this, but I'm a doTERRA wellness representative. So if you are wellness advocate, so if you have questions about essential oils, or want to get some, I'm happy to help you with that. Just send me a DM. Sometimes I like wearing essential oils. Sometimes I like having music on. Sometimes I like taking a bath. Remember, trusting yourself is the biggest part of this cyclicality process and relationship with the moon, because this is what it's all about. Also, I really like to be clear with my intentions, and I like to have them in a place where I can look back at them and say, oh yeah, these were my intentions a couple weeks ago. Am I still working with those intentions, right? Especially as the full moon comes and I can look back and say, how has that manifested so far? It's just really fun. So keeping a journal of new moon and full moon rituals in the same space can be really powerful and really cool, because then you can see the progress of your energy and how you're supporting yourself throughout. So that all being said, I just want you to know, if you are interested in any of my programs, go ahead and fill out a Moonprint application, and I do free coaching calls and let you, so I can help you through whatever it is you're going through. But I have 2 group coaching programs, the Moon Cycle Collective and the True You Tent. In the Moon Cycle Collective, I do meditations every single new and full moon. So if you are interested in that, I also coach in there. I also teach in there. So it's just this, but like with tons of more stuff. If you're interested in having that in your life more frequently, go ahead and fill out a Moonprint application. I can get you the link for that as well. But I don't want to spend a lot of time with that, but just so you know, because I think it's important that you know that I do have supportive services that can really, really help you if you are ready and wanting that. So let's do a quick new moon meditation now. Did that actually work? No, maybe. I don't know. I'll get you the link later on. Everyone take a deep breath. Anne has peppermint in her diffuser right now. Peppermint's so good for clarity. Heidi loves essential oils. Awesome. Awesome. Take a deep breath. Victoria, I love you too. Victoria is part of my True You Tent, so she gets the Moon Cycle Collective with that, and she is magical, so you should follow her if you're not. Okay, take a deep breath. Tapping into the Scorpio, emotional, beautiful, magical, deeply passionate feelings. I want you to imagine yourself right now. Just see yourself in your body. Just breathe for a moment. I want you to imagine yourself pushing an off button on your head and flipping the on switch to your heart. And then coming on down to your solar plexus, which is right in the center of your gut. This is where your intuition lives. I want you to think about utilizing the energy of this new moon in Scorpio. What is it you want to do over the next 4 weeks between now and the middle of December? What do you want to do that lights you up with passion? That's the key. This isn't just a to-do list thing, ladies. Like, what do you feel passionate about that you want to take action on? Maybe it's a family thing. Maybe it's a work-related thing. Maybe it's a conversation you want to have. Maybe it's something new that you want to start. Maybe it's a cause you want to stand for. What do you want to do? With passion fueling the way. Write that down, either in your journal or in the little space that I created for you in that worksheet. And then throughout the process of that, how is it you want to feel? Hopefully passionate is one of your keywords there. But I want you to come up with your own words too. How do you want to feel? As you are taking these creative, new steps, how do you want to feel? I encourage you to sit with this for as long as you want to, but if anybody would like to post your intentions in the chat box and just declare them, sometimes it helps make it real. I'm the type of person that, like, sometimes I'm like, oh, heck yes. Like, I'm declaring it. I don't care if the whole world knows. And then sometimes, and there are other times that I'm like, nope, this is just for me for now. I'll share with you my new moon intentions are have fun giving excitedly and rest and receive gracefully. I'm going to be giving a lot over the next month and a half. We've got 5 masterclasses in here. In my True You tent, I've got a couple big things planned. We're going to celebrate Yule, which is the final Sabbath of the calendar year. In the Moon Cycle Collective, I've got some big meditations planned for the rest of the year. With my one-to-one clients, there's just so much happening there. And with my family, with the holidays, like there's so much that I'm ready to move on and to give. So I want to be excited. I want to show up in those. And on the flip side, I want to allow myself to rest and be there and take care of myself afterwards. Does anyone want to share? I'm wondering if my internet actually just cut out because some things were working and some things were not. Hopefully not. Oh, good. Okay. Rest and receive gracefully. I felt that deep. Yeah. Especially this time of the year, right? Like when we want to do all the things, when we want to give. But we forget, ladies, like, there's cyclicality in all things, and that includes energy exchange. So we cannot be giving. And this time of the year, I mean, you constantly hear it quoted that it's better to give than to receive. I call BS on that. We have to do both, right? The moon isn't up there deciding it's just going to be in a waxing phase all cycle long. She waxes and wanes. We get to give and receive. Good. All right, good. I'm glad. Thanks, Lisa. One of my things said the internet wasn't working. I'm like, oh gosh, we're at the end. Good. Thank you. Stephanie is going to launch her membership and allow herself to be vulnerable enough to share her story and passion behind it. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. We've got big things happening there. Huge. Lisa says, breath of fresh air, so enlightening. I'm so glad. Danielle, my new moon intentions are to be open and accepting of all gifts. Thank you. Right? Ladies, I mean, this shows up in money. this shows up in relationships, and especially with talking about the full moon in Gemini coming up, where I said that relationships and money could feel tense. What if we just allowed ourselves to participate in full energy exchange with all of them, right? With money, we pay for things, we receive value. We put value out there, we receive money, right? It's just part of it. We put so much pressure on money. There doesn't have to be pressure on money, as long as we learn how to love participating and flowing with it. Same thing with relationships, right? We show up 100% whole. We allow ourselves to receive other people 100% whole. Heidi, let's see. Danielle, to push myself outside my comfort zone and enjoy the experience. Go, girl. Heidi, question. How long did it take you to get your period after being without it for 14 years? How long were you practicing cyclicality? For me, and remember, everybody is different. And I was also working with a naturopath, which was super helpful because I was taking drops to regulate myself with a homeopathic way of doing it, which felt really good and really aligned. But I really started focusing on it in February of 2018, and I got my first period on August 8th, so 8/8/2018, the day that Lionsgate portal opened. I got my period. So what's that? 7 months? 8 months of like very intentional focus with a lot. I was working with a chiropractor. I was working with pelvic floor PT. I was working with a naturopath, and I was doing deep, deep, deep self work, and I was being coached too and supported in that way. So there was a lot. And remember, there's no pressure. You do not ever put pressure on yourself based on somebody else's experience. You just let the energy of, well, if she can do it, why couldn't I? That is the number one thing I need to make sure to make super clear right now, Heidi, because I know how deep that is for you. And allowing yourself to be fueled by the belief and the excitement is the key there. And wanting to be more grateful, want a more grateful heart for my new women's life group. Awesome. Want to feel joy, love, and connection, money and energy. Yes, ladies. Oh, this is so good. Ladies, this is so good. I want to see if this is actually working. What is happening here on my internet? Ooh, let's just close out of that. Heidi, good. Love you, sister. Proud of you. Really proud of you. So weird. Okay. Yeah, I got you, girl. I got you. All right, ladies, we are at just over an hour. I would love for you, as you continue to have things come up, please comment, tag me so I can see it. And I just got a pop up from Facebook. Thanks, Facebook. We'll do this again next week, ladies. Next Sunday, we've got an incredible masterclass coming where I'm going to teach you how to eat and move and care for your body throughout the holiday season based on the moon cycle. Like, we're going to go in a completely different direction, but utilize the moon cycle to help fuel us, literally, so that you can enjoy yourself and not have it be about like, oh, if I see one more commercial of like, skip the gravy so that you can have 6 more cookies, like, oh, that's actually not even the point. Like, what if we just loved our bodies and fueled our bodies and lived in rhythm and harmony with our bodies, and we ate what we wanted to, understanding that at different parts of the moon cycle, we actually crave different foods, and different foods fuel us differently to match the energies of the cycle. So that's what we'll be talking about next week, which is going to be really fun. And make sure that you are there, because I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to create something really, really, really special to offer up as a Black Friday special. And I asked my husband, I'm like, I have some ideas. They just don't feel right. I just need some time to think. So on Wednesday, it was Veterans Day, he took all 3 of my children out of the house. I love him. And I sat and I just allowed the energy of downloading and unfurling and birthing to come through. And I came up with the most beautiful thing that I'll be finishing up this week, but it's going to be so helpful. And I'm going to be sharing it with you ladies first before I announce it anywhere on social media or anything like that. So be here, and you will get to hear that. It's going to be so good. It's so good. And I haven't seen anything like it in the past. So just a little teaser for you that's going to be coming next Sunday and will be available for you ladies who are here first before it hits any other informational piece out there, which is just, that feels really good and really in alignment. And will give you a really deep opportunity to uncover depths of yourself that in such a beautiful way, which is so cool. Anyways, ladies, thank you. We've got so many things to look forward to. I'm excited for next Sunday night. And again, if you've got any questions about anything we talked about tonight, let me know. And if you have any friends that you think would benefit from learning from these free masterclasses, invite them into the group. This is an open, well, it's a private group, but you're able to invite people to it. And then I just approve them and I try to send everybody messages as they come in just to help them feel welcome. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to go drink some water and rest my voice, and I will be chatting with you ladies this week. Happy Sunday. Namaste. Thank you for being here. New moon blessings. Have fun with your intentions. And we will see you next week for sure, but I'll be in the group throughout the course of the week. Good night, ladies.